morning. We are here to do the check-in for Leos. I failed to do the Leo video, and some kind person decided to remind me, who is a client, and they are private. Now, probably because I did the energy for the check-in for the Leo moon, I also did the Lionsgate portal frequency of what I thought was coming in. So, hello to the kings and queens. And those of you who don't know me, I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame Hermes union. If you're wanting a coaching session, you can go to the link below, and I'm going to do a twin flame update straight after. I have been pushing the wheelbarrow uphill and gradually getting to all these spirits, so apologies for the delay. Now I'm going to be covering the energy basically for your astrology, and I feel it's necessary, and a lot of the channel is actually changing where I'm going to be doing updates. Yes, I need the red today. I don't know why. I've had it there for a few days. It's like I'm feeling the red. Let's get our foundation right. So I'm basically going to be explaining to you what house the Cancer and Capricorn eclipses were in for you, because this is the energy for the next 6 to 12 months that you will be needing to know about. So it will be a good video to save. Get a pen and paper, write the houses down, astrologically speaking, that are going to come up for you. And there was a few songs that come through for you guys, but as I mentioned, Rebecca, my lovely sister-in-law, is currently in hospital giving birth to her child. So just to irritate my brother, because I know that he's always sick of me being on YouTube, I thought I would come on here and give Rebecca a big shout out again. None for my brother, just for my sister-in-law. We're using the red for family foundation, which is the Cancer frequency coming through. Now, for those of you who are Leo, this video is for you. Now, the first house that comes up that you did actually experience, but it's going to be the area you're going to work on for the next 12 months. Thank you, Rebecca. And I knew when I was putting the makeup on, because Rebecca's a savvy makeup artist. Okay, so the 12th house is about your spirituality. So being in the 12th house, on the higher vibration, it can be highly intuitive. On the lower vibration, it can be connected still with your subconscious mind, the downloads you're getting, your intuition, hidden resources, adversaries, enemies, etc. Okay, so connected to the fact that the Cancer energy is very nostalgic. So, you know, with the eclipse that was in Cancer last month, this energy in the 12th house will be highlighted. What you'll be doing, you'll be focusing on your intuition when it comes to your family, your tribe, your domain. You'll also be, when it is, because it's like this year we're trying to balance things. We're trying to balance our family, our home, our heart chakra, you know, our pain body experience, things that we are spiritually interlinking with. And Uranus is going retrograde this month, which means some of the things suddenly that you think you're having some revelation about. And it's quite interesting that this is happening, because the reality is between the 3 moon transits that we're having, the Leo has already started, and that's moving all the way through to the 16th. Now, don't connect the dots to it's already happened, so therefore it's happened. No, tower moments don't happen directly of those energies. It's a bit like a cycle ending. It doesn't happen right away. You've got to move through that frequency, and it comes when it's meant to. Regardless, with the 2 eclipses, it amplifies that energy for 6 to 12 months. With you guys, I do feel you will be using your intuition. You've had some downloads. You've been thinking about things you've wanted to change. That can be with your family, your tribe, what you're putting into situations versus what you're getting at. You're weighing up the pros and cons. And this is really going to tie in really heavily into the Leo energy, because it is your house. It's your first house. Now, with the Capricorn eclipse, it is the external energies, but it's also how you operate within those domains, as well as it could be your work domain, infrastructure, government, and it falls in your 6th house, which is work environment, habit, routine, and health, which is almost the Virgo frequency of an assessment that you will be taking on at the end of the month. So you're looking at those 2 areas in your life, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, what is working, what isn't? What needs to end? What have I been working on in effect that you need to tie up? So something in a sense of a plan that you were working on, you may be ending, or you may be beginning a new chapter and having to rejig it to a point where it's working in this new current environment. Your health might be directly impacted by these areas, and you're going to have an opportunity by the end of the month with all your assessment and negotiations to correct it and proceed forward. And I'm going to pull cards throughout this read so that you guys can see how this is all coming through. Now, the Leo energy, most of us, regardless of what sign you are, whether you're a cross watcher, first house is all about self. Now, the Leo moon for you, you're going to be more intuitive. And again, with the Cancer energy, when it comes to your family, when it comes to your tribe, your spirituality and the things you're linking in with, what you're going to find is it's coming back to you. You know, what's going on with you? Because everything can look hunky-dory, but internally is something going on, and you're going to have that time to actually deeply reflect. At the same time of family, domain, tribe, it is a huge pain body experience, because Cancerians hold on for grim death. They remember everything. They have great memories. They're very family orientated. They're deeply intuitive and emotional, but quite nostalgic. So potentially you could be regressing back and looking at some of these things and going, oh, you know, I'm really connected in with this. And then the Capricorn eclipse was really, well, is it working? You know, the work environment, the energy you're putting into situations, your health and how things are balanced or aren't balanced are really being shown. So it's the energies after the fact and the subject matter that are going to come through that are going to help you assess that. So you're in your own energy between now and the 16th. You can be extremely sensitive. You can really be feeling vibrations of other things going on around you prior to them happening. Very intuitive in your own energy, especially with the Cancer energy falling into the 12th house for you. With your wounds, it's Aries and Chiron in retrograde. It's in your 9th house of religion, education, foreign countries, and travel. And some pain body experiences can be coming up from that area. It can also be your belief systems and your power of what you're wanting to do in these areas. It might be fear-based frequencies. It may be hopes and dreams that you're wanting to achieve. It can also be belief systems where you feel you're blocked, but you're looking back at yourself about how you can actually change and shift that. Now, as I mentioned in the previous videos, you know, do look at your sun, moon, and rising in Venus. Also, you could potentially look at the Leo energy for overall frequency. You could look at the Aquarius energy, because we have an Aquarian moon mid-month, and the Virgo. And in some shape or form, they'll directly relate to a basic subject matter, very separately. But with the Aquarian moon, once you've moved through the Leo frequency, you're in your own energy, you're probably ahead of the game with certain things. You're coming to a place where you're going to have an opportunity. If there are conflicts in these areas, be it with your tribe, be it with your work or the plans you're moving towards within yourself, it's an opportunity to actually see whether you can mend fences. So it falls in your 7th house of marriage, contracts, and partnerships. And with that, what you're going to find is, what are your beliefs about it, especially with the wounds being in your religious beliefs? Could it be your childhood wounds connected to your mother-father energy? Could it be from previous relationships? Or potentially, are your belief systems changing in a paradigm sense that not necessarily what another person's relationship means is perfect for them, is perfect for you? So there can be some conflict coming up around these times. But it's also an opportunity where what is broken will be shown. It can be an egoic state, as well as a time frame that you can actually negotiate those things and start problem solving. Now, with those, if you've come to a place where you're doing all you can, yeah, you've had 6 months theoretically to assess these things. We've been in retrograde with Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. Obviously, Mercury also did impact that. It affected our communication, but it was almost the memories of previous communications and movements we'd wish to have. It's given us the opportunity now that we have that information. What are we going to do going forward? Now, even though Mercury is direct, moving direct, it's still in shadow. It can be the heavier point, astrologically speaking, where crosswise can happen. Issues with travel, read the fine print with your contracts. So it's still there, but you will find it easing in. So between the Leo moon and the Aquarian moon is the better time and an opportunity where if you haven't seen someone you want to resolve conflict, it's going to come about in an opportunity sense. Now, again, by the time you do reach the Virgo moon is very, and I've mentioned this in the other videos, it feels semi like the Libran energy, the Justice card, But at the same time, it's more to the point where it's black and white. Please show me the detail. I'm not going to judge this harshly. I'm judging this rationally, in a very grounded way. This is falling in your second house. And it's a time frame where you're going to be looking at your diet. You're going to be looking at your health and your habits, which has really come up with the Capricorn energy for you. So you're moving into these frequencies already with the Cancer Capricorn nodes and the eclipses that we had that are changing and reforming your life. So it falls in your personal resources, possession, land, material value. It can be that you have a revelation that potentially you had a belief system about the external world. Now, I will pull cards for this area, and we'll also tune into your romance shortly. Okay, too. You might have some hopes and goals, but they may not be in, how would you put it? Just because you have a hope and goal doesn't mean to say that the other person that you're relating to has a hope and a goal moving forward. You've got to see by this point with the Virgo moon whether all these pieces of your personal puzzle with others can merge and mesh. Now, if they can, you will proceed forward and do the work in that situation with people, places, and things. If they don't, the Aquarian moon will bring the conflict up to a point where you will cut things, people, places out of your life. And that will be for healthy reasons. Can also be where we're trying to create healthy boundaries. But, you know, it's very interesting. You can love somebody completely, but it doesn't mean to say that your value system is going to be the same. Therefore, can you proceed forward? Yes, you can, with negotiations. And it's not that they have to shift or you have to shift. It's what compromise can you come to of an understanding to proceed forward, providing both parties are going to want to work at that. Now, the Cancer energy for you guys, you have the 7 of coins. And when we see 7, it's a very spiritual number. It's also connected to finances. Now, 12th house of hidden resources, it may be potentially that you have hidden gifts that you haven't tapped into yet. It also can be, and I feel it's more on your side of the fence because this is the Leo chart. It can be in your subconscious mind you feel there is something you're going to need to do. Now, this might be in the money sphere. It might be in the way you're investing in your connections. But again, if you're seeing synchronistic, it can be anything to do with animal totems. It can be number frequencies that you're seeing. The universe is trying to give you some assistance when it's coming to this blockage that you have spiritually. And it may even be just something that you're trying to problem solve and gain clarity on so that you can actually re-navigate and move forward in your life. But I do feel if you're putting the energy into situations and yourself and your spirituality, I feel it's going to bode really well, especially in the 12th house. If you feel disconnected and you're tuning into other people and you're giving your power away, it's going to knock you off your axis over the next 6 months. So, you know, try and take the time, especially when it does come to family and tribe, to actually invest in yourself. You have some hidden gifts that are going to come to the forefront. This can be in a more spiritual realm as well. Now, with your work domain, your habits, your routine, and your health, you have the Page of Wands in reverse. Now, it can be that your work environment, your health, your routine is getting impacted by pettiness. Now, this petty energy that's coming through can continue for 6 months. I mean, and it's funny, the Capricorn energy is for 6 months and it's in your 6th house. This can also be people being human, and it's not that it's bad. It may just be in general be impacting your home domain, your work domain, your health, and trying to get things into a balanced sense. And this is potentially why the 12th house is really important for you. Taking the time to invest in yourself for your sanity. Especially when we have ascension symptoms and we're in retrograde, you'll find you really need to anchor your energy in, and I'll be doing more videos about that too. With your first house, you have the 5 of Swords. You're wanting change, but potentially you may be looking at yourself as the only energy you can change. And in theory, yes, it's true, because we can only change ourselves. We can lead by example. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. So If you, in a sense, feel semi-responsible for other people's happiness or other people's attitudes and way in which they're dealing with things, and this could be any location, looking at yourself, thanks, Star, looking at yourself and saying, okay, I need to recoup. I need to get to a state where I've gone through quite a bit to the point that you're looking at what you want to do, but what's going on inside. And again, the spirituality for you guys is super important. Now, with the wounds that are coming up for you guys, it's falling in your 9th house, religion, education, foreign countries, and travel. And 2 cards have fallen out. And again, 7s are coming through very loudly for you. So I feel you're wanting to manifest something, but you might be in fair-based frequency. You know, 7s are to do with the fact that if you actually believe that anything that you are deserving of, it's going to come to you. This is why the 12th house is really important for you guys between now and the end of the year. Trust that everything that is happening for a reason. If you want to travel, you can manifest that in. If you want to enhance your spirituality and your religious beliefs and upskill in education or spirituality, it's going to happen. It can also be networking in these areas, but using yourself as that energy regardless of your fair-based frequency. Address those fair-based frequencies. The other number 7 card you have is the 7 of Cups. You're being very realistic, which is good because you're in the Aries frequency of your wounds and your belief systems about movement forward. Don't block yourself from this. Actually tap into it, especially if suddenly you're seeing things or you've got that sixth sense and a hunch. You're going to have a lot of luck around that right now, so please do utilize it. If you're reflecting to the past and you're thinking, oh, look what happened, you know, penny little, the sky's falling down, it's going to block you, but use the Aries energy to actually tap into the potential and the possibilities, the infinite possibilities. When we fall into the Aquarian moon, it's you versus others. The card you've got is the Knight of Swords. And I do feel there are 2 areas that you're wanting to move on. And again, it's in the 7th house. 7's really important for you. Google 777. Don't take it from me. Go and have a look. You're trying to be rational about your connection, okay? Connections, contracts, and partnerships. You're trying to be rational about who you give your time to, why people are reacting in certain ways, what happened in the past with either your connections or your childhood connections with your parents, your family, and relationships in general. And you might be seeing quite a bit of this and going, wow, you know, what's going on with people's relationships at the moment? Yeah, that's the Leo moon. Thanks, Leo. It's bringing all that strength out in us, and we're getting a bit vivacious and egotistical accidentally. But it's, you know, ego, as my twin says, isn't a dirty word. It's where can we use that power to self-motivate? At the lower frequency, it can be used for manipulation. At the higher frequency, it's okay. This person's triggered me in X, Y, and Z. Let me have the courage to address that and then to move forward. What am I going to do with it? But you do have power in this area. And if you are wanting to manifest something, it takes 2 to tango. If you want balance to return, yes, it is. But is it emotionally abundant? Okay. By the Virgo moon, this is where we're going to detox, heal, need to really maybe tune into what the decisions are we've made. And as I said, I'm going to do an energy on the Lionsgate portal, which is potentially today. And the interesting thing is, you know, Mark and I from Intuitive Perceptions were talking about this. And the energy and the thing I did say is the Lionsgate portal is the least of our worries right now because there's so many aspects going on this month that potentially by the end of the year, a lot of what's coming up is necessary to come up because it's been there for a long time. We just haven't seen it. You know, when you've got that situation where it's right under your nose, but you know, I wouldn't even say ignoring it, unaware because we were in a pattern. These things are coming up to shift because you're already, a lot of your manifestations have already occurred. It's the karmic cycles we're ending out. We're ending out massive chapters, especially in astrology. Now, for the Virgo moon with this healing, by this stage you might feel quite uncertain. And again, the energy I was picking up last month was you'll move one way and then you'll turn about and then you'll go another way. And it's going to end up in a way you didn't actually expect. I feel that energy is still relevant in this month. And we're probably going to see that aspect this month and potentially even next month where we're shifting. You might be really scared that you're going to lose something. And again, this is a Virgo card. It can be uncertainty, concerns about finances. This is in your professional resources, possessions, lands, material value. Again, go back to your spirituality. The reason I'm saying this, and the reason sevens are coming up for you and the 12th house, is because if you're concerned about the external world, that can go and you can manifest that back, right? So it can be that you're, anyone who's having a divorce, they could be going through a state where they're looking at things and going, oh my God, penny little, the sky's falling down. I'm never going to get it back again. But they can never take you away. I had a friend one time that had this had this bright idea, and she went to open a business, and this lady was basically feeding off an aspect of her energy and her idea. And it was supposed to be where each individual within this shop were going to be doing different spiritual things. And when she came on board, they each were paying for their individual things, but this one person took over. And it was a lesson energetically that she had to learn, because nobody can take your ideas permanently. They can take the ideas they're aware of, but they can never be you. So if something from you is being taken, it was you in the first place who had manifested it, created it, and achieved it. So even if they were to take an aspect of your worldly possessions, it's you who has the power and the strength, Leo, from the beginning of the month all the way through to say, you can take what's left, but I'm no longer investing. And that's really the Leo energy, because you're the success in this situation. So what you do with your energy is your power. And that's really the lower chakras, the reds, the yellows, the oranges, all of those energies. We give people power, but we can use that power on anything we want. It's a bit like a Keno machine or a jukebox. What song do you want to play? You put the money in, and then after a while you're like, I'm not feeling this tune, I'm not paying for that tune again. You can tune out of it. Let's see what the male energies for each moon cycle are coming through with. And that's those of you who are Leo, and then we'll tune into the romance aspect, and I'll come back and I will do the twin flame update. I can't believe my sister-in-law is watching me when she's having her child. You're a fruitcake, lady. Okay, so the males moving into the first moon, they might feel really overwhelmed. They can be coming through very agitated, semi-toxic, unfortunately. This can be indulging in food, alcohol, etc., etc. Let's not go there, but the triggers are coming up. But that's because they're going inside. And these energies of the 12th house are being jolted, as well as, Leo being the first house. They're looking at these aspects of what's going on with them. And, each energy, be it a male or a female, we do things in different ways. This can even be very separately, where they're physically looking at this as, okay, I'm reflecting back of myself, and this potentially in the past was a problem. It was the way I dealt with my energy. And now I'm looking at it and assessing it, that potentially this was hindering my growth. By the Aquarian moon, and it's interesting because it falls in your marriage contracts and partnerships house. Those of you who are Leo, you're juggling too many things, and it can be you're looking at two ways the situation can go, or dealing with too many things and it's impacting your marriage, your contracts, and your partnership. And this is really coming through quite heavily in the read. I'll pull a clarification on that to see what's going to come through. What is it? Getting back to basics. This can be a tower moment. It can also be to the point where you realize, you've been juggling too many things, and the circus act does end, and sometimes the clown does drop the ball. And I'm not saying male energies are a clown, it's just an analogy. Getting to the point where it may be that's what you're trying to attempt, because this is the part of the month where you can actually fix things, which is quite positive. In it can be that you are looking at it and going, okay, this was built on not a solid ground. What are we going to do to fix this? Can we sort it out? There can be more trigger points coming up for the male energies that are Leo by the end of the month. And this can be where They could be semi-jealous. They could feel quite fatigued. And again, you do tend to find this, especially when you're having a healing. You go through the 7 stages of healing, depending on what part of the chakra it's coming from. But it always ends up in the energy of the third eye, which is the ego. But you're going to have the strength, but you're going to need to detox. So the lower chakras can be impacted. So if you're male and you're watching this, a lot of bold things can come up. And this has got nothing to do with the fact that you're a bad person. Our wounds are with us for life. We are working on making peace with them so that the external world can be balanced as well as the internal world. So when this comes up for you, my highest advice is get your lower chakras balanced. If you need to wear any gemstones to actually help protect you, it can be just go to, you can buy them online, you can buy them on my website. Get some black tourmaline. Research what you can use to help you get your energy anchored in, but do some chakra alignment for the lower chakras. Try not to push too hard, because by this stage you're going to need a bit of healing, okay? It is fair-based frequency, which always trigger from the lower chakras and the third eye. If you can do some meditation, and that can just be go to bed, put a headset on, listen to some chakra music, and try and increase your fluid, you're going to cope with the frequency better. But don't get paranoid if you're getting tired. It's completely normal. It's because you're having an upgrade. Yeah, it's purging, okay? Grieve your losses. It's purging. It's whatever's gone and whatever was hurting you and blocking you from having that great life moving forward. I'm feeling this is more a pain body experience. So it's going to go. It's not going to be there forever. But just try and have the patience with yourself so you can proceed forward. Now, the females of how they're relating to the Leo energy, you have the 8 of coins. And again, you're working hard on many things. You're also getting to a place where you're trying to manifest something. You know how this is going to go, especially with the Cancer energy coming through of 12th house. I feel for the next 6 to 12 months, you guys are really going to be in your crown chakra. So you're going to have a lot more psychic downloads. Be careful. You potentially can be more susceptible to psychic attacks. So please get the tourmaline, the amethyst. I did cross paths with a person who was in a psychic shop the other day, and she was adamant she wasn't going to use amethyst. Was it amethyst? Yes. And I was like, wow. And she says because she sees dead people. And I was like, well, it's not going away. The stone hasn't activated that. The stone helps, but it can't open it. We all have it. We just don't know because we haven't developed it. So once you have that, it's not going. And if this is something as a Leo you are experiencing, whoever you are, or a cross watcher, all you can do is develop it and actually with the frequency. And the quicker you develop it, the safer you are, especially through this astrology at the moment. And that's why I'm trying to develop more spiritual tools for you guys, because it's going to be important. Now, mid-month, you guys, as females, will feel a little bit manipulated. Again, your intuition's going to be on high gear. You're going to be like, okay, I see where this is going. And I keep seeing 11s, and I'm definitely seeing 11s when I'm thinking about Rebecca too. The energy is you're tuning into situations, but at the same time, you're not... You're taking your power back. You're looking at it going, okay, where's my accountability? I'm not doing something just because someone wants me to do it. I need to do it for the right reasons. So it can be where you're stepping back and assessing connections of your marriage, your contracts, and your partnerships. Are you invested in it? Aren't you? Is this higher frequency? Am I being manipulated and used, or am I in this because it's something I actually want to do? Because we can decide at any given time, and they can be the most glorious person in the world. But if something in a sense isn't meshing and you can't get to that point where you start mending things so it's amicable and workable for both parties, at some point the cracks in the fence are going to show. Okay, for the Virgo moon. Now, just remember, this is for this month. Yes, the Cancer Capricorn energy is going to be with you for the whole year. Each month, each energy will change and shift. And, if you end up getting a download and you start having some revelations in your life, your energy will shift, your timeline will shift, your life will shift. So it is changeable. You're trying to come to a compromise by the end of the month, okay? Yeah, and it does feel like a leap of faith. It's also the Virgo energy, but it's more grounded. See how the eyes are covered? To me, I'm seeing third eye covered due to the fact that you're removing the ego. You're looking at it from a very practical Virgo energy and saying, okay, how do I look at this? How do I feel about this? Is this anchored? What was the evidence I accumulated during the month? And what am I going to do from here? Pull some clarifiers. The stress that you're coming in at the beginning of the month with will end, but it can be very aggressive in the beginning of the month, females. Reflect on your own truth, but whatever's coming, it's in your first house, so it's going to help you actually gain some insight. Even if you're seeing all this aggression around you, you're not the only one. By mid-month, healing, again, similar energy. You're grieving. You're letting go of what was gone, and they can be old conversations, old feelings, old hopes and dreams. But remember, Uranus is going retrograde. So the things that you were grieving, by the time you've grieved them, you have this revelation all of a sudden that you have some new hopes and dreams. And what are they going to be? So you're going to have time to reflect on what those old dreams were versus what you're going to want them to be now. So it's great the way the astrology is going at the moment. It's really helping us gain a lot of clarity about the here and now of who we are. Okay, with this balance, removing ego and facing your fears, facing your shadow. It might be that you're scared to make a major decision, but you're also looking at all your hopes and dreams. And it's funny because some of what's coming through is that you're scared of your hopes and dreams because you feel something. Yep. This always happens when you don't want to speak your truth. Leo, just say it, okay? If you've got something to say it. Don't be scared because it's going to come up and it's going to be yucky and it's going to affect your health. Now, let's look at relationships. What's happening in the relationships? That always happens in readings. Okay, you guys are in a major reassessment mode from the beginning of the month through. This whole month is going to be reassessment for you. This is within relationships or directly who you're tuning into and what way to go. This can even be in your own personal life as well, with your career, your health, your belief systems, and your contracts and your partnerships. So you're reassessing, right? You're wanting to do something different, okay? But you're nurturing yourself first, and it's good because it's in your first house. So, Leo, nurture yourself first. What's going to be in your best interest? By the time you do that, you're going to actually have, like I say, your intuition is going to be activated. You're going to be looking at things differently. You're going to be more clear about what is going on and what you feel. The person you're tuning into, they're trusting in the process. They're like, everything happens for a reason, right? But they're tempering themselves. They're like, okay, I can feel the vibe that you're in your head, Leo. And again, I do feel by the end of the month, you're going to be more clear. Both of you are addressing addictive tendencies. Now, it could be... Now, it's interesting because this has come up in quite a few. And I don't feel it's to the point where it's codependent frequency. I feel a lot of you have moved beyond that point. It's sort of more to the point where you're feeling, and it can be fear-based frequency, you know, or having your own light and looking at who you are. Addressing addictions can be different things. It can be old habits and ways we have governed our relationships, and that's really more what's coming through. You know, being able to show your true self of what your joy is in your own unique way, but try not to fit into what other people want you both to be. Both of you are feeling super vulnerable, and this can be where it stems from because things are changing and it's not quite fitting. Other people's opinions can be coming in at the moment, which is really impacting you. Live life to the fullest. Now, a big decision is going to be made. You're going to be patient, wait till the end of the month to have your downloads, but you're going to know, you will know by the end of the month what you're going to do. There are some of you, I do feel, that already know what you're going to do. And some of you may feel this isn't working. It's got to go. again, like I said, you've got the sun energy coming through in this card, which can be the at each moon phase is going to impact you. So it's like I feel there's going to be 3 shifts this month. The 3 shifts will be very different energies, and it might look a bit crazy. But go with it and tune into what these belief systems are, what is being shown to you with the sun. Yeah, because it can also be, you know, the reason I'm saying that is because this is a card of ego. This is an energy of ego where potentially you're looking at something a particular way, but is it a fair-based frequency or is it legitimate? You don't want to speak it because you are afraid, but, you know, is it that you're lying to another, or is it technically you're lying to yourself? So something in a sense of a download is coming to you. You can be really concerned both at a financial or physical or spiritual matter. It can be also other things external to this love interest is concerning you, i.e. another person's health. But at the same time, there can be, you're concerned about money loss of the connection or anger, but it's affecting your health, so it needs to be addressed, and that's by the Aquarian moon. You may go into hermit mode and retreat back, and that's what's being shown to me, that you really need to, after the fact, be gentle on yourself and this person if you're healing within this connection. Even if you're not with this person, this is a transformative cycle we're all going through to make it through this month. Now, October does change. Yes, many planets by the end of September, October are going direct, and then others are going retrograde, and we do have more eclipses at the end of the year. So this is a hugely transformative year. It does feel rough. I do feel you guys feeling a little bit dizzy as well. So it might be there's so much going on for you guys. Pay attention to your sinuses as well, because I'm seeing sinus-related issues. Any questions while I'm here cleaning up before I do the twin flame road? I can feel my neck. Thank you. Yeah, I needed a bit of red. I needed to get some vavavoom. So any questions with the astrology, guys? Yeah, Snow White, right? But yeah, definitely have a look at the 777. That's coming up really loudly for you. Follow your spiritual growth this month. Manifestation of abundance is very interesting. Manifesting of anything, you know, and again, I always say, and I have done a video very shortly and briefly on it on my channel, manifestation, when you are triggered about something, you're directly blocking it because you haven't detached, and the twin flame journey is the same thing. Anything you're wanting in life, while you're in your ego and you're thinking about it, you physically haven't released it to occur. So it's like you're holding on to it like you're the only one who has control. So it's like I'd have to work, you know, because belief system and dense 3D, we're dual. So we are in the 5D and we're in the 3D. So the body is a very heavy energy. The soul can tap into other areas. You know, we can, I mean, when I was tuning into how to develop my gift and I would hear the term teleportation, I was like, physically pick me up and go over there, you know. There's different ways. You actually tuning in with your third eye, you can be in 2 places at once, and your body physically is in 2 places at once. When you're healing, it's dense, it's in the 3D. So when you're thinking about money, you're tactilely in the 3D. You're looking at it like I would have to do a job of 9 to 5 to create that. You're getting in your way. You need to actually believe and you will receive. So it's like, oh, you come to a place where you're going, Houston, we've got a problem. There's not enough money coming in. Oh, we need to do X, Y, and Z. And what am I going to do? What am I going to do? You're healing. But then you reach a point where you realize if there's no solution, you let go. And as soon as you let go, magically, the solutions start coming to you and it starts coming in. It is your lower chakras. You need to balance them. And it's also clearing your third eye And, heart chakra, again, your heart's desires, because the higher heart's been activated through the Leo energy, which is Chiron, it's our wounds. So have a look at the Aries in Chiron for Leos, and that's your religious beliefs. So your belief system is changing. So you have the ability to manifest largely if you're a Leo right now, but you need to remove the ego to understand the laws of attraction is what you are, is what you vibrate. And if you feel that you can have anything you want and detach from the fear, it's going to come to you. What do I do if there are toxic things in your life causing you to want to, you just already have to believe it's yours. It's not the best time, and it's really bad. And this is why potentially I was like looking at the Lionsgate portal and thinking, yeah, not a really good time to be doing that, because we're ending karmic cycles. I would say at the moment, clear crystals of each moon. Definitely at a new moon, I would charge water and re-energize your crystals. You can then drink that water with the crystals in it. And whatever you're wanting to manifest, if you're drinking it, if you have a blockage and you want to manifest it, you're putting it out into the ethers. The same goes for the full moon, which will be a purge. Full moons are letting go of old. New moons are recreating and energizing energy. So it's like an in and out phase. So charge your crystals during each time. And when you're needing to let go of something, what it will do is it will clear your chakras. And when you clear your chakras, you're a clear channel for manifesting, creating, getting your downloads and attracting. Mercury going direct will help with networking. So potentially in the next 2 weeks, everything does happen for a reason. You've got to actually understand that when the road's blocked, it's protecting you. So it's not, and you'll find you'll always have enough to survive. It's because you're having a spiritual upgrade. So suddenly, if you don't have enough in your life, it's usually happening because you have avoided yourself so long that universe is going, we're going to give you enough to survive. But you need to do a little bit of listening and thinking of what's really going on inside you. And when you have that upgrade, all of a sudden doors start opening because you've given yourself the time and you've accepted, you've detached. I hope that helps. Any other questions? Oh, look, there is a lot of violent energy at the moment. Most welcome, Harley. Yeah, there's a lot of violence at the moment. We need to, and I was even tuning into auric field, and I do need to do a video on that. Now, I do believe, like I've said, everything happens for a reason. Now, we have our chakra systems that have the blockages in it. And at some point through an awakening, what does tend to happen is our bubble that we have. We have this little thing where it's like, don't step in my bubble. With that bubble, what can happen is you feel that is your circle of concern, It's also your protective field. It also can be like an ego experience, if you want to look at it that way. Now, what I do feel has been happening potentially for the last 6 months and even potentially even last year, it's almost like the ozone layer being broken into by the sun, which is the ego. It's like, okay, you've just burned a hole in your own ego, son. You're then going through a mass purging state. Your upgrades needed to happen that way. So sometimes we're broken down before we're elevated up. We don't like the process of going through that, but after the fact, we always feel very liberated and vibrant. Now, what I am noticing is there is a chain reaction at the moment energetically with people with this Leo moon, that when you're standing near them, it's like a virus is spreading. It's like pass the parcel. It feels like a pandemic virus. That's what it feels like, but it's not. This is a layman terms way of explaining it. And we're swapping energies, but in the higher vibration, we're able to do that too. Like attracts like. But you'll find those of you who have been through a lot of crap since 2016, you are visually seeing a lot of people who are going through similar things to what you've done, but it's impacting you even further and you're wondering why. Your energy finally upgrades. People then latch onto your energy and you're passing the frequency forward, which is jolting them into their awakening and healing. And you're like, why am I going down again? Because you haven't learnt to control your auric field and to create your protection bubble, but you don't need to protect yourself. You're paying it forward, but you're transmuting frequency. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. So a lot of you who are light workers and you've gone through changes, you are upgrading people accidentally. But if you're standing next to a person and they've had a crappy day and you're feeling down as well and your lower chakra is impacted, you're going to absorb that energy. So carry your crystals with you this month. Charge your water in the moonlight. Drink it. If you're wanting to manifest something, keep it simple. Don't think about it. Be it very simple terms. May the best that universe feels I deserve come to me, and drink the water. And charge the crystal with pink quartz, amethyst for your intuition. Anything that you're wanting to do it in that manner. Yes, I will be doing it, but I'm going to have a quick break and then I'll do the DM. And we really need to look at ourselves too, ladies, because something's going on with us big time. Remember, we do have, I'm going to do it in a different way because I'm going to do the DM. I'm going to do the masculine and feminine for both counterparts. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I feel the yin and yang, I should say, rather, of each counterpart, because I feel there's an imbalance. There's an imbalance we're balancing out. We're seeing things from a different polarity. I'll be back in a moment. Beck, good luck, lady. I'm thinking of you.